Imagine a moment when nothing existed, no time, no space, just an infinite presence. God, the absolute creator. Have you ever wondered where he came from? Join us on a journey through the ages, from ancient philosophers to modern scientists, to explore the beginning of everything. Let's uncover how the interplay between time, space, and matter points us toward a creator beyond human understanding. What is the greatest mystery of the universe? Have you ever stopped to ponder the origin of God? If he was created, where did everything begin? Today, we embark on a journey that transcends the boundaries of science and faith, exploring a question that has intrigued humanity since the dawn of time. Before time existed, before matter was formed, there was only him, God, hovering over the deep waters, in an unfathomable darkness. With a word that echoed through eternity, he said, "Let there be light." And light came forth, unveiling the grandeur of his power. The crucial theological question persists: what is the origin of God? Before there were heavens or earth, in an absolute void, God already existed, alone in his eternal glory. He brought light out of nothingness, ordered chaos, and created harmony. Yet, the question lingers: what is the origin of God? Some believe he shaped the world 6,000 years ago, completing his work in 6 days. However, as we reflect more deeply, we ask, what is God's origin? And how can we understand his spiritual actions in a material universe? If we believe God is the creator of the universe, an intriguing question arises. Who created God? This question leads to an infinite chain of inquiries. Who conceived of God? And who created the creator of God? This pursuit of answers pushes beyond the limits of human logic and invites us to delve into the mystery of the unknown. After all, who created the creator of God? This reflection introduces the notion of a created God, a fascinating perspective in its own right. In this context, faith in God as the origin of all becomes fundamental to understanding reality. However, this question also challenges our beliefs by proposing a logical perspective. How can something spontaneously arise from nothing? The impossibility of something coming from nothing leads us to ponder the existence of an eternal origin. If we are here, thinking, conscious beings, it is logical to conclude that something or someone has always existed. This concept took on new dimensions with the acceptance of the Big Bang Theory, which transformed our understanding of the universe and opened the door to seeing the cosmos as part of an eternal sequence of transformations. Evidence suggests the universe is in constant flux, with its energy continuously consumed. The second law of thermodynamics reinforces that energy degrades over time. As stars lose their brightness and the universe expands at an accelerated pace, we recognize that the physical world cannot last forever. This raises the question: what is eternal must be entirely different in nature from what we can observe. The original cause of everything must lie beyond our current understanding. This brings us to question the true essence of a mystery that transcends the limitations of our material world. The idea that something could be eternal seems challenging, but I invite you to reflect from a new perspective. Consider that everything we perceive as real, such as the chair before us, might only be a transient manifestation. Even the most stable objects were once mere possibilities in an uncertain state between being and non-being. They are temporary and inevitably destined for decay. These elements lack the capacity to justify their own existence. They are all interconnected in a web of dependencies, resembling a sequence of falling dominoes. At some point, we must recognize the presence of something primordial, something radically different from what we attempt to explain. However, when it comes to God, the Christian, Jewish, and Islamic traditions agree that he is eternal. Thus, the question of God's origin, by definition, does not apply. Challenging this implies assuming that everything must have been created, which brings us back to square one. Ancient Greek philosophers also reflected on this, making the Gospel of John even more revealing when it begins with, "In the beginning was the Word." This phrase invites us to meditate on everything that arises from something eternal and transcendent, something beyond our comprehension, something that existed before anything else. The distinction made by the Greeks between what is created and what exists on its own raises a fundamental question. Is there anything or anyone that has never begun to exist? For Christians, This entity is God, a premise essential to Christian faith. The question, who created God, may seem valid at first glance but is, in fact, unfounded. For those who believe the universe is the creator of everything, another intriguing question arises. Who created the creator of the universe? This question confounds many and is frequently debated by scientists. In a conversation with a group of scientists, a physicist questioned how Jesus could be both God and man at the same time. Skeptical, he asked for an explanation. The initial response was a simple question: what is consciousness? After a pause for reflection and the physicist's admission that he wasn't sure, a second question followed: what is energy? The physicist acknowledged that while he could measure energy, he didn't fully understand its essence. The conversation continued with more questions. Do you believe in consciousness? The physicist replied yes. And in energy? Again, the answer was yes. The conclusion was clear. It is possible to believe in something without fully understanding its nature, which is a hallmark of a critical thinker. The physicist, initially reluctant to embrace labels, soon recognized the irony of the situation when he found himself about to apply the same labels to his interlocutor, who questioned the nature of phenomena such as energy, light, gravity, and consciousness. Could these mysteries be contained in God? The question of who created God, while seemingly challenging, is not so difficult to understand. God is portrayed as an eternal being, outside of time. Keith Ward, in God, Chance, and Necessity, argues that something transcending space and time, being self-existent, could not have been caused by anything else. This suggests God is beyond our understanding of beginning and end. Everything that exists must have a cause. Nothing can come from nothing. However, something eternal and timeless does not conform to the logic of cause and effect. It does not require a creator. Atheist philosophers like Daniel Dennett acknowledge that eternal truths, such as numbers or mathematical objects, do not demand a cause because they have always existed. The concept of God reflects precisely this idea of an eternal, self-existent being, a primal necessity. Therefore, God has no cause, for he is self-existent. By defining God as the uncreated creator, beyond the constraints of time and space, asking who created the uncreated creator becomes as illogical as questioning the sound of silence or the actions of emptiness. When we question who created the creator who was not created, we apply a logic that does not align with his nature. This is a fundamental point. Christians base their beliefs on an eternal God who has no origin, while some atheists propose alternatives such as a multiverse generator or even a quantum field capable of spontaneously generating universes. This brings us to the understanding that, at its core, belief in an uncreated creator is shared across perspectives. As we advance in understanding the universe's origins, we deepen our exploration of the divine spiritual essence interacting with the material, reinforcing the shared belief in an eternal creator. Understanding how the creator interacts with the continuum of time, space, and matter leads us to reflect on their interconnection. Time, space, and matter cannot exist independently. Without time, where would space be? Without space, when would matter exist? These elements are inseparable, coexisting as a fundamental trinity. The Bible reveals this truth clearly. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, simultaneously establishing time, space, and matter. The divine Trinity was instantly created by a God who transcends all temporal limitations. If God were bound by time, he would not be truly divine but rather confined to his own creation. Just as the creator of a computer is not limited by the machines he makes, God, who originated the universe, is not imprisoned by the works of his hands. He transcends, permeates, and exists beyond the universe without being influenced by it. As for the idea that a spiritual force cannot impact physical matter, profound questions arise about the foundation of our emotions, such as love, hatred, envy, and rationality. If the human brain is merely the product of random evolution over billions of years, how can we trust the accuracy of our reasoning or our moral perceptions? Reflecting on the origin of God, I realize that any attempt to limit him is a misunderstanding. The God I worship transcends any notion of time and space. Although I try to grasp him with my mind, he is always greater than I can comprehend, which makes him worthy of worship. The mystery of his greatness fascinates me because he is present everywhere, beyond any form or definition. During the discussion about the origin of God, the question arose, did God come from nothing? A mathematician addressed this idea rationally, arguing that it makes no sense to claim that God came from nothing. The proposed analysis suggested that, in reality, God came from nowhere because there was no space from which he could come or to which he could go. He created a foundation in the void, existing beyond any physical limits. Reflecting on Genesis 1 verses 26 to 27, we see that God upheld the world in the void, beyond everything we know. Through the force of his will and the power of his omnipotence, God formed the universe, shaping creation with divine precision. Sparks of his wisdom illuminated the cosmos, and with a touch of his fingers, he scattered the stars across the sky. In his gaze, everything was perfect, and he declared, "It is good." He also gave Christ a name above all names so that, in his name, all creation would bow, recognizing Jesus as Lord to the glory of God the Father. The origin of God and the mystery of creation continue to fascinate the human heart. Regardless of individual beliefs, it is undeniable that our understanding of God and the universe is limited. The idea of a creator who transcends time and space challenges our minds but makes us recognize the grandeur of the unknown. In every detail of creation, such as the design of leaves or the starry sky, we find traces of a creator who sustains and animates the cosmos with perfection. The harmony of nature reminds us of divine greatness, renewing our faith and trust in a creator who cares for every detail. May this reflection lead us on a journey of profound discoveries. We dive into mysteries that go beyond our comprehension, from the origin of God to eternity. As we contemplate the immensity of the universe and the cycles of nature, we clearly see the signs of divine love revealed in the harmony of all things. The Creator, eternal and self-existent, calls us to a journey of faith and understanding. As we reflect on the vastness of the universe, we recognize His presence in everything. May we live with gratitude, allowing His light to guide us every step of the way. True wisdom is understanding that we are part of something greater, guided by infinite love. May our faith strengthen us, enabling us to share light and hope with others, always reflecting the greatness of the Creator. Thank you for reflecting with us. May the light of God guide your life, bringing peace and love. If you feel in your heart the desire to reconcile with Jesus or begin a new journey of faith, this is your opportunity. Leave your declaration of faith in the comments. I accept you, Lord Jesus. See you next time.